once woke up and then I had to write down all my dreams. And I did these in journals, I did these in poems, I did these in art. And then over a year and a half ago, I learned that these stories needed to be produced. So I've started my writing journey. And I'm on book two now. Book one still is in preparation to come to you. And if even in this vlog, you'll see more. Stick with me. Welcome to the Wardens of the Dawn. Hi everyone, welcome back to my vlog. This week I got a couple of little things for you. Um, I'm dealing with the writing of a big battle and trying to figure out how best to do that. So I've had discussions with my partners, co-pilots, and so forth to give me some ideas. But I'm going to tell you how I go through the process. So in case you have to write a battle scene, you can think about all the things you want to do. And I also started talking cover ideas for book two with Chris, and I'll show you some of the preliminary work I've done with that, and we'll see in the future what Chris does with that. And then finally, I give you updates on where we are with the book two. Stay tuned, more to come. So I'm at the place where I'm going to be writing a big battle scene, and I had to stop and think about it because when you are writing battle scenes, you have to think about what battle scenes are. If you write it as detailed as possible with this unit doing that, that unit doing that, then what you're doing is you're describing a historical scene. And that's great if you're writing a history book, but when you're writing a narrative or when you're writing a story, that's not always the best solution or the best way. So what you have to do is you have to think about how much attention your audience will spend on the battle. I've consulted with my co-pilot, and what they describe is what you have to do is the battle happens, but your narrative stays with a few characters, and you give them something to do during the battle. And then those minor battle scenes you can add to it, add a bit of drama, add a bit of tenseness, but has to be managed in such a way that it's like painting a painting. It's like painting the scene. You allow the audience to have the time to grasp everything, but the movements happen quickly. Just like if I'm doing a combat between two characters, then the combat is direct statements within a paragraph and it's finished. It's not a long, drawn out process describing how a certain fighting technique occurs, or in this case, a certain battle technique occurs. It has to be quick, it has to be precise. So, writing out the battle scenes that I'm going to be doing is going to be more about the narrative of what the characters see and what the characters are doing than the flow of the battle, maximum 2 or 3 pages. As you see with the illustration I have on this page, my battle is going to be quite full. um, but I still have a focus on my main characters. You'll see this in scene 25 or scene 26 in the book that I'm working on. I hope that you have taken something from this for your own ideas and battle scenes. And as a reference, look at what you like in fantasy when you talk about battle scenes. Do you want something long and drawn out? And it has to, and there's a good example of long drawn out battles by J.R.R. Tolkien, and they are fantastic. But they are also well practiced, well written, and have gone through peer review by some of the best writers in the universe. So at the end of the day, that's not where we're going to be. Give us about 40 years and maybe we can talk about that. So we have to write it to your audience. And my audience, I think short, sweet, direct, keep the drama and tension going, and then have the twists come in. Yes, that is a swan you see in the picture. I hope this is hope you like this. Hang on, and we'll talk about the what I'm doing with the cover for this book. So since Chris has completed the cover for book one, which is sitting above my head right here, um, it's an opportunity for us to start thinking about the cover for book two. The book is Detonate. Now, before I started talking with Chris, I had just a play with a co-pilot, and here are the results of that play. And it was come up with, I really, really like this one on the top right, which has the main character Bryant holding his cube, and then you have the dream world and the living world side by side, and the dichotomy of the orange red versus the green and blues. So this is an idea he's going to work with. And then for the back cover, I like the idea of the Ghost Wraith and his little flaming zeppelin and his ghost army. And so we're going to play with that. However, as you can see, I played with multiple iterations just to do it. Now you might ask me, well, Bill, these are pretty good covers as they are. Why don't you just use those? They're AI generated. And though the development of a idea is something I use AI for, it is not the final result. And it usually is not because it's not pretty or it's nice. As you can see, these pictures are quite nice, even though they're not accurate to what I want them to be. There are subtle things off in every picture. With an artist, I can control that. I can get what I need. And when I'm dealing with a real artist like Chris, um, visions can be tested and trued. So that's why I prefer having an artist do the painting for the covers. The other thing is copyright. Every image on this screen is not copyrightable. It came from an AI. Whereas the painting or the book covers that I get generated with an artist, they are copyrightable and controllable, and everything in the book is copyrighted. So that is why I this is my process that I'm used to get my ideas, I get my inspiration, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go to an artist, in this case Chris, to produce um, the book and the book covers. Why not? He is an expert, and I'm supporting the arts. So just an idea. This will be a while before we start talking about Detonate publication because I'm still writing it. And but I hope this little series is inspiring you. Hang around for an update. So here's your updates. As you can see here, these are our layouts for the book covers using the final painting of Chris. Um, what has to happen is Joanne's still busy with the editing, and when she's done, then I have to do a final run. Then I will take that editing book and I have to do a formatting process. I will format the book into the format styles for paperback, hardback, and ebook. Then I get artists' evaluation copies of each of those so that I will then check that out with my art group. My art group will consist of three different households, and they will read through, look at it, look for any misprints, look for any page number problems, look, see if the printing is the right size, the paper quality is good, the cover is produced good compared to the real thing. And then after I get all their feedback, I make corrections, and then we'll be ready for publication. Don't know when that's going to be. But that whole process is what's going to happen before I can release this book out for your perusal. On book two, this week I had completed scene 25, 26, and 27 coming up for the next week. And as you can tell by the contents of this vlog, it will be the big battle. A couple of big battles. So the important thing is that I needed to figure out how to do that in order to do it, and then tell you guys how I do it, because this is a vlog about you joining me on my journey, not me just telling you how to do things. Um, I'm going to be taking a break from vlogging, so about the weekend before Christmas will be my last vlog, and then I'll pick up vlogging again sometime in January. I wish you all a good weekend, and see you next week for the next vlog. Bill out.